Oh, I was talking about the cool
What's
people
going
that
on, everybody? Welcome to Call It in the Ring.
Hey!
Tonight we're going to be talking about the Elimination Chamber, the pay-per-view that just happened. I am back. I am Joe. I am here with two new people. Tony, you were on last week.
I was.
With Kevin.
I was.
And Johnny, Parker, Trace. The third?
Second.
Oh, the second?
Third's coming soon.
The
later
Deuce?
on. Not the Deuce. The sequel. Not the Deuce.
So we're going to be talking about the WWE pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber. We're also, I haven't been on this show in quite a while. There's a lot that went down tonight. But before we get into that, we have a few things we got to take care of. Number one is a few of those plugs. We have the Super Chat feature. What that does help support the show. I'm talking really fast because I'm really excited. Hey, Jalen, I know that you're in the chat. Screw your throat. Call in. But we do have a lot. Again, we have the Super Chat feature that helps support the show. You can Super Chat us, and it leaves your comment right there at the top. We also got that boss bar. Where's that boss bar?
I don't know. Where is
He
it?
doesn't put. Well, the boss bar's coming up in just a second. We got that coming up. We also got the TeePublic store. The TeePublic store is you can get all your geek shirts in there, all your geek needs. That would be in our TeePublic store. And to carry the conversation on, we have the THS Hashtaggers group. That's for all you guys, all you hardcore hashtaggers that are either going to You're going to Morphicon.
Of course. Morphicon prom is going to be amazing.
Yeah, Angel Girl Prom. Do you have a date yet, the Angel Girl Prom?
No one's asked me.
You have a date yet, the Angel Girl Prom?
Not yet.
All right.
Hey.
Oh, there it is. I'm getting a limo.
Well, we got all that going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. And join THS Hashtaggers. I think that personally, it's a way for you guys to connect. It's a way for you guys to learn about all the newest things going on in the geek world. And for conventions like MorphCon or Comic-Con or WonderCon, which is coming up right around the corner, if you can't afford a place to stay, you know some of your fellow hashtaggers are in there, maybe you guys can get a place together, make it a little cheaper for each and every single one of you. Now, man, what a letdown tonight, right, guys? What a fucking letdown. All right, so let's talk about the Elimination Chamber. Let me get a few things off my chest. Now, for all of you Power Ranger fans that watch me on the Power Ranger shows, you know that I'm a pretty outspoken individual. And Vince McMahon, I hope you're watching because I'm not going to do you any favors. Here's the thing. The Royal Rumble was great because you had two people, the Women's Royal Rumble and the Male Royal Rumble, and they both were deserving winners. Would you agree?
Totally, yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
And then you get to Elimination Chamber. And here, I do like the fact that they had 7 people in the match, and 5 out of 7 of those people I wanted to win. Mm-hmm. There might have been 2 in there that I wasn't a big fan of. Funny enough, the 2 in there that I wasn't a big fan of were also the 2 at the end of the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't expect those 2. I thought it would have been different too.
Yeah.
It was Braun, wasn't it?
Yeah, Braun Strowman.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm surprised. You wanted Cena to possibly win?
I'd rather have had Cena win. My biggest problem with this pay-per-view was that, and it's funny because I also listened to Bruce Pritchard's what's his podcast called? Something to Wrestle About or whatever it's called. I listened to that podcast, and he's always being interviewed, talk to his buddy Conrad, and he's like, well, why did Vince McMahon do this? And his response to a lot of this is like, well, Vince loves surprises. Does he? Does he? Like, I don't think anything that happened tonight was any bit of a surprise. So, first of all, overall reactions, and then we're going to cut into the deep cuts here at Call It in the Ring. But what were your initial reactions? Now, a little backstory here. Tony was a wrestling fan back in the day in the Florida territories. That's the butthole of America. And you had all this.
I hope you're eaten by a gator.
Yeah, well, I don't ever plan on going back to Florida unless it's Disney World.
It doesn't need to be in Florida.
Well, we don't have gators here.
I'll
but
fly one in.
Of course, you're from Florida. Of course you would. So we have this pay-per-view in Las Vegas, and you went to a bunch of wrestling events.
I did.
What was the last real time you would consider yourself a hardcore wrestling fan?
2003-ish is when I was still consistently keeping up every week. Like, me and my friends would get together. We were still in college, so every Monday we were getting together for Raw, and even every Thursday we would just be kind of we weren't that big of we weren't huge SmackDown fans, but it was just kind of that thing that somebody somewhere was always watching it.
Were you during the brand split era, or were you during which era of wrestling were you?
That's pretty much when it started. When there was a clear divide
between
what was happening in Raw and SmackDown. It was just sort of it just kind of became too much, kind of like the way that like cable just started like splintering off and all these different options. It was just like, it's too much, it's fine, I'll just... And then at that point, the people that I kind of like loved and adored, they weren't wrestling anymore, so...
Who was your favorite wrestler in the era that you were like at its height for you?
I mean, after Bret Hart was done, then it was like, you know, the Attitude Era had me. I mean, Stone Cold and The Rock are like they're tied at number 2 for me.
Stone Cold and The Rock, wow.
Yeah.
Right. And
after they were done, it was just sort of like...
Based on your personality, which wrestler would you have been in the duration? Because obviously Daniel would be like Devon Dudley, and then we got...
You told me I would be Ivory.
Did I say Ivory?
You said I would be Ivory. I don't hate that.
I can see
I
Ivory.
don't, because she's pretty awesome. The little girl in me wants to be Alundra Blaze so fucking hard.
Alundra Blaze.
But
Wait,
yeah.
not Medusa, but Alundra Blaze?
I loved Alundra Blaze.
Okay.
I fucking loved her. Like, I would just cry at her feet. I really would. Like.
All right. Well, Johnny, to you. Oh, and well, we'll get that in a second.
Yeah.
Johnny, to you. You've been a wrestling fan for as long as you can remember, probably.
Pretty much, yeah. I got into wrestling back at the height of the Attitude Era. So I got right when The Rock was like coming into his own and everything like that. Stone Cold had left and just come back. So I was total Attitude Era generation.
And growing up, who was your favorite wrestler?
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock kept me coming. Like when The Rock would leave, I would try to hang around for a while, but then I would get bored. But as soon as he came back, I was right back with him.
Based on your personality, which wrestler would you be?
I'd probably have to say it'd either be a tie between the Hurricane or Crash Holly.
Or Crash Holly.
Yeah, because like I respect those guys because I respect guys that like have heart and they're in it for the fun. You can tell that when they're in the ring, they're like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like I'm having a blast right now, and they're just living their dream.
Okay. All right, now let's talk about this pay-per-view for a second. Well, not for a second. This is what the show's about. Duh. We're going to be talking about Elimination Chamber. Now, overall thoughts. Johnny, we're going to go to you first.
Okay.
Overall thoughts of the pay-per-view. How many hashtags do you give this one?
Out of how many?
5.
I would give this, with 6 matches and, Jesus, like 3 lit downs, I'd have to give this, can I give it 2.5 hashtags?
2.5 hashtags. Now, what were some of the highlights for you, and what were some of the lowlights for you?
Okay, highlights for me. I have to be honest, that Rousey signing, as corny as I thought it was going to be, actually got me kind of excited. That whole Kurt Angle like turn and everything like that, what you call, props to you, is that it looks like there's going to be a match now between WrestleMania for Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Was like, oh, like I did not see this coming. I did not see them like exposing her like this. Like we have this itch under our heel and all that storyline.
That's a good line.
I had to say, okay, like I'm kind of liking this. Kurt Angle is standing up for himself. Second one, the Women's Elimination Chamber match. I went through and like saw the highlights from that, and I gotta say, like that kind of excited me. Sasha Banks is turning heel. Yeah. Like I love that a lot.
That
like,
excites me.
And like that, she's better as a heel. Excuse me, she's better as a heel. So I think that's gonna work out pretty well too. And then, actually, yeah, that's it.
Okay, now let's talk about your highlights and lowlights, Tony.
There was only one highlight for me, and that was Nia Jax and Asuka. That was the only one that
Good call.
legitimately held my attention all the way through. They were the only ones that had personality.
Captivating, right?
Yeah, and just like the 2 personalities together in that ring, I was just completely and totally engaged. And mind you, I have no idea the context, the history behind them. Like I'm just like literally just dropped me into this, pay-per-view, and which is why, you and I discussed this a little bit as to like maybe my other underwhelming reactions to the other matches. Maybe that might be because I don't know the history behind it, because I'm not invested in these people. But then again, I don't know anything about these 2 ladies, and I was totally in it the whole entire time. And when Asuka won, I was like, well, she probably is my favorite wrestler right now, even though I don't know too many others. I mean, from what I've just seen, from what this pay-per-view, was able to offer me, she was definitely my favorite of the night.
Now, you made a few great points there, and we'll touch on that in we're going to go more in depth in that in a little bit. I'm going to talk about what I thought about this pay-per-view. I didn't see all of the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and I really came in when Alexa won it, so I can't really judge it, but from what I hear, it sounded a lot better than the Men's Elimination Chamber.
Oh, completely. Far and away.
Yeah.
The tag team match was a letdown for me. The bar against the Worldwide, it was definitely a filler match. It was go get your popcorn, go to the bathroom match.
I went next door to go get food. So, I mean, nobody else was talking about it when I came back. So I was just it clearly wasn't anything that I was missing out on.
I'm with you 1,000% on the Asuka Nia Jax match. Nia Jax match, Nia, right?
Nia.
Asuka Nia Jax match. Those 2 ladies put on a hell of a show.
Definitely.
It seemed there were some stiff shots, some missed spots, but they actually worked out better, I think, with those missed spots. I also like the fact that these two ladies told a hell of a story that I want to see this continue. Yeah, absolutely.
See, honestly, the things I missed that match, and that's the reason I didn't put it up there, because when I saw this match was booked, I knew Asuka was going to win because she's on her win streak.
But you should watch towards the end of the match. There's a mistake that happens, and you think, ooh, like this could jeopardize WrestleMania.
Really?
Yeah, I watch it. There's a Nia Jax does this flip. And lands, and Asuka tries well already, but lands on Asuka's legs.
Ooh,
yeah,
can't be doing that.
The Matt Hardy Bray and Wyatt match. Listen,
oh my fucking god! I'm sorry. Am I allowed to curse on this?
Yeah,
show?
you are. I love the woken Matt Hardy, but this match was a letdown to me, and the reason why is, and if this is the culmination of this, huge letdown. You should be doing something. Do you guys, or Johnny, you would probably remember this. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt around this time last year had that, or a little bit later on, had that like match in some haunted house type deal.
Exactly, and then like
match.
Randy Orton burned down his house and all this stuff leading up to WrestleMania and everything.
This is what they should be doing with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Like that is what they should be doing. Ronda Rousey signing, extremely impressive. She looks like she's having fun. She choked up because I almost can tell that this is her dream. This is always what she wanted to end up doing, and being in a wrestling ring with somebody like Roddy Piper she looked up to has to be an experience for her. And I think the Magnum over there said something about like she needs to stay in character. I like the fact that she's all about the fans, shaking hands, like smiling. But when you piss her off, she gets that look on her face, and it's like, oh, she's in the zone. She's almost like Ken Shamrock. Remember? Oh, look at that, Larry Newbill. We got that super chat. Fans be like, I'm going to go take a piss. That's just boring. True story. But we have this look that she gives, that she shoots you. And when she gives you that look, it's the I'm fucked look. I'm going to shit my pants because she's going to armbar the fuck out of me look.
I got to be honest, though. At the beginning of that, I was kind of like, this is awkward. When she first started talking.
Her promo was
it was just like, I was like, she can fight, but someone should talk to her about talking. But I agree with that junior emotion started coming out. I was like, oh, shit, okay. Like, she actually cares about this. Like, she's really choked up
Just
right
wait
now.
till we see the heel turn and she becomes a Paul Heyman girl.
Ooh.
Just wait.
A Paulie's girl?
Watch out.
Paulie's girl?
Because you know the Paul Heyman's girl, the Paul Heyman guy, Paul Heyman girl.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I was a little underwhelmed by the signing. Just the way they chose to set it up by, basically making Kurt Angle a snitch and saying, hey guys, remember when you were shit talking her?
I love that.
I would have preferred had they just gone ahead and just decided like, hey, remember when you did fuck us over? Fuck you, and then put her through a table.
See, the reason I love
I would have respected that a lot more rather than just like, snitching them out and then just, I don't know. It's a shallow setup to just, because of course she's going to pick Kurt Angle as like, oh, my boy was looking out for me and he, let me know what was happening. So yeah, we all know that that's leading up to, Rousey, Kurt Angle, and a, Stephanie and Triple H matchup. So I don't know. I don't know.
I feel you because at the beginning of the match we talked about this. I thought it was going to happen like Triple H was going to pedigree her in the ring.
Yes.
Which I thought was like something like that was going to happen.
Would that not have been amazing?
After the hashtag #MeToo stuff, Triple H wasn't putting his hands on a lady.
Okay, true.
That was not happening. But I also knew that I personally love this setup, and I'll tell you why. This reminded me of old school Kurt Angle. Like, Kurt Angle's been a shell of who he was since he's been back in WWE. Mm-hmm. And this Kurt Angle reminds me of like that goofy Kurt Angle that would just kind of do things. Mm-hmm. Like, I love this Kurt Angle. And I'm happy. Listen, Kurt Angle's a competitor and he can still put on great matches. And he has some resolution that needs to be settled with Triple H.
Yeah.
And what better way to do it than WrestleMania?
And the other good thing about it too is that he's actually a general manager who would I want to see in the ring. Because the problem with this is when Nick Foley was running Raw, it's like he kept getting punked by Stephanie and Triple H. And it was like, damn it, Mick, stand up for yourself.
It was like a dog that with his tail between his legs, he keeps getting beaten, right?
Exactly. But the cool thing about Kurt Angle is, he can never be that dog. He's Kurt Angle. He's an Olympic athlete. He's one of the best wrestlers of all time. He can stand his own ground. So it works for him.
I just felt like tonally there was just such a disconnect because everybody is being so serious, including Ronda, being so sincere, and even when she's pissed off, she just has that scowl. But then here's fucking Kurt Angle in the back, like some kind of like Scooby-Doo accomplice. Oh, hey, here's this random crew that you might come in.
I loved Kurt Angle.
Oh no, it was old man Triple H.
Yeah,
who saw that coming?
Oh, no.
I loved Kurt Angle's facials though. They were hilarious. Like he was making these funny faces, like oh. I can't believe it.
No,
he's
great.
But it just didn't fit the bit.
But to be honest though, when he was making those faces, going like, "Oh my god," in the background, I thought he was talking about our promo. Because yeah, it is pretty bad, Kurt. It is pretty bad. But come to find out, no, it's actually part of the story.
Great.
Now we're gonna, before we go into our deep rundown, we're gonna talk about the men's elimination chamber. What do you guys?
Have to?
Yeah, we eventually do.
Okay.
What did you guys think? how do you guys feel about this? First of all, this is the 7-person Elimination Chamber. First time ever in WWE history. I can sound really excited about it, but guess what? It still sucked. And as much as I want to get excited.
It was so bad, Corey Graves disappeared at some point.
He did.
I have no idea. I think he walked out of protest. He was just like, this is bullshit.
We literally were stopping. You and I were trying to figure out, like, all right, that's Coach, that's Michael Cole. And at no point, it was like, I guess he's just, I don't know, fucking asleep, had a stroke. I don't know. I guess I would have too.
So this was definitely not match of the night for you. Did not live up to expectations.
Oh my God, no.
Whatsoever.
It was so, I mean, half of that match is just everybody just laying around. And I get you're trying to give people a moment to breathe and to recoup, but it's like, if half of your, how long was this match? Like over an hour?
No, it was
almost an hour?
45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half that time is literally just people just like groaning and moaning and laying on their back. And it's like, that's not exciting for me as a viewer. It just isn't.
You just described porn, and sometimes that is exactly exciting as a viewer.
Not the porn I watch.
Laying on the back, moaning and groaning.
No. There's still some action to be had in moaning and groaning, but it's like, dude, you're not selling this well enough for me. And the fact that there's all 7 of you, and all 6 out of the 7 are
in particular, Roman wasn't selling well enough for you.
No, he wasn't.
No.
As much as I think he's very pretty, yeah, he does not sell well at all.
So let's talk about these matches one by one, and then we'll give a match of the night when we get to your specific match of the night. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about the Women's Elimination Chamber. That match featured Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Mickie James. Who am I missing? 2 more.
Oh, what you call it? Absolution.
Absolution.
So Mandy Rose.
And Sonya whatever.
Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville. Let's break this down a little bit. Since you saw the match, give us your thoughts, your in-depth thoughts about this.
I don't know who Bayley is, but I definitely want to know more about her, because anytime that, no matter what she was doing, she was selling it well. She was, getting me hyped, and even though she ended up being eliminated, I think, about 2/3 of the way in, I was still really, really invested. The other, Alexa Bliss, I don't know too much about her. This is my first time seeing her wrestle. I mean, I guess I'm supposed to be pissed off that she won. Is that how I'm supposed to feel? Like, she's a heel, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's almost like that lady Ric Flair, right? Like, always edging out with the championship, even though every night she'd be beat. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the charm of Alexa Bliss. I think Alexa Bliss is gorgeous. I think she's talented. I think she's a great heel.
Yeah.
I think that
her mic skills are amazing.
They are.
Her escaping with that title every single night is you know what she is? Funny enough, I don't think Alexa Bliss is like this in real life, but she's a mean girl, and she's one of the girls that succeeds and is like the girl that's going to talk shit but makes it happen.
But what's funny? Like, I see that, but I also see her as like the Hot Topic champion.
Yeah, she's
because you totally tell, like, in her free time she shops at Hot Topic. The color choices she's wearing is like, if a Hot Topic girl got on top of the world, this is how she would be. It was like, bitches, look at me now.
Yeah, she's definitely the girl that in high school she's the mean girl.
But you know what's funny? Because Vince is really high on her, which is totally well deserved. But the thing about this was that she's so small. Because she's only like 4 foot something.
Tiny.
She's 5. Yeah, she's like 5 foot tall.
And the thing about this was that for guys, he hates that. Like, when it comes to guys, guys always have to be big. But with girls, he's very open to it.
Don't you friends with the WWE lady wrestler?
I went to school with Lana.
Really?
Yeah, we were both at FSU.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, way back when. But yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I even know anything that's happening in WWE, before I met you guys. Because, I would follow her on Twitter and just be like, oh, yeah, Rusev and Lana, that's a thing. And other than that, nothing.
So I want to talk real quick to you, Johnny, about the heel turn tonight.
Oh, which is finally
been a long time coming.
Which is finally coming. I'm really happy for it, too, because the thing about this was Sasha Banks, amazing wrestler. Her in-ring work is like second to anybody. Anybody else, she's great at selling. She's great at doing moves. Her gimmick is awesome, but she's better as a heel. It's kind of like The Rock.
Her gimmick's built for a heel.
It is. Yeah. It's kind of like The Rock. Because even The Rock was a good guy, some people still think he was better as a heel. So Sasha Banks is a heel. It's just that that's her natural fit. Because the attitude, the boss character, and everything like that. And her and this like Bayley friendship have been going on for so long, it's kind of gotten annoying. So I'm actually really happy about it.
Do you think we're going to get a little spark of that rivalry that they had in NXT, the quality of matches they were having?
To be honest with you, I think we're going to get there because I think that's what kind of like helped sell the Women's Revolution. Vince saw that. He said, look, okay, women can sell matches. And that's what helped Triple H help get a lot of these ladies over. So I think they want to get that for WrestleMania. They're going for that same momentum. So at WrestleMania, it's definitely Sasha Banks versus somebody in an amazing match. Could be Bayley. Who knows? Could be somebody else going for the belt, but it's going to be good.
So you, interestingly enough, Tony, you said that you were intrigued a lot by Bayley. Why was that?
Dude, her style and just, I don't know, her whole vibe, I was really, really intrigued by. I mean, everybody else, I feel like I've seen that. I've seen, like, Alexa Bliss. I've seen the pretty blonde girl, you know, with the pink tips. You know, I've seen her win before. And even her style. I've seen, you know, the acrobatic, you know, small wrestler, compact wrestler, you know, I've seen that style. Sasha Banks, same thing. I kind of, you know, when you said The Rock, I was like, yeah, that's totally, I've seen that. Just like, you know, a wrestler full of attitude. Bayley, I don't really know how to describe her vibe, but it just I buy the fact that she just loves to wrestle. And it's obvious and it's clear. And other than that, I don't even know how to really describe her. I just know, like, I want to know more about her. I can't say that about anybody else in that match, though.
I think it's very tough to turn Bayley heel ever.
No.
She has such this amazing story.
No.
I mean,
How do you make Hug Life a bad shit?
She's unless you get super annoying, like, and then it becomes an order. No,
that's what they Hug Life. Really? That's why the Bayley belly, yeah. Unless she's hugging the wrong people, then it was like.
I don't ever see her as being a heel, but you know, I think she's the female our era female Ricky Dragon Steamboat. She's like she's going that guy was a babyface through and through. He's never been a heel his whole life, and I think that she can be that. Now, what's interesting about the situation is I'm actually really excited for Sasha Banks to be a heel because that character is made to be a heel. Yeah, it's the boss. You know what I mean? It's flashy. It's demanding. It's in your face. It's talking shit and backing it up. It's the boss. This Sasha Banks is a Sasha Banks I've been waiting for to see again for a long time. And I feel like with her being a face for such a long time and being, you know, in Bayley's corner and cheering people on, I feel like she's lost a step because of that. So now I'm hoping that we can build Sasha Banks back up and get that epic Sasha Asuka match that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, because she needs her edge back, and that's something they're giving it back to her for. So she can hopefully capture the title somehow before WrestleMania and face Asuka like in the ring, and that would be super dope. And the thing about this was that WWE needs a strong female heel right now, because right now the only person on that roster who's kind of a heel is Alexa Bliss. Yeah. Nia Jax kind of switches like depending who she's wrestling or not. She's just more of it for herself. But right now they need a strong heel with good mic skills. And that's Sasha Banks because our faces are only as strong as our heels. And right now, we don't have that many to work with.
I just figured out why I think I have a tough time nailing down what I like about Bayley is because so many female wrestlers, not just the ponytail, but it's either they play to either pretty or sexy, and she plays completely to athletic and sincere. And before you even said Hug Life, it was like, yeah, she seems like, you know, she's just in it for the joy of wrestling.
Exactly.
Which is probably true.
Which is why, you know this, why I love Bret Hart, because it just always seemed like
I'm a Bret Hart guy.
Yeah, me too. So
Hart family, Owen Hart.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about our next match. Was our P break? It was called The Bar against the.
I was at Trader Joe's.
The worldwide.
Can I take a P break now?
Yeah, right.
All right, guys. Be back in 10.
What the fuck
the
is
truth
that?
of this match is like all four of these guys are great performers. It's just the style of this match, the way it was laid out, the booking of this match, the spots. It was definitely set to bring you down.
It really was.
It was. I think the end of the match kind of picked up a little bit. We saw some quick tags. We saw some, you know, a little bit of excitement. But for the most part, this match was very slow paced. And the story that was being told was, I mean, it was more so kind of like it was getting the bar over again.
Yeah.
And we build up all the way to Raw. We kept getting Titus Worldwide built up, and now this is the match they had. I don't see Titus Worldwide having a spot at WrestleMania.
No, I think I don't think this was a Band-Aid solution. Because for anybody that's been watching Raw for the past few weeks to a month, knows that Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins has been building up steadily. But recently, Jason Jordan got injured. He has a neck injury. We're not sure how severe yet. But the thing about this, after
Guys, we got another super chat.
Oh.
Y'all like the new Elimination Chamber or the old?
What's the old one look like?
I think maybe the 7-person format. Maybe.
Yeah. I like the new one. Like, it was cool. We still got some of the classic moments, like going through the glass and everything like that. And having 7 guys in there did make it a little bit more exciting. It made it almost like a mini Royal Rumble. So I enjoyed it.
All right, so back to this. We cut you off when you were talking about the tag team match.
No worries. Thanks for super chatting, Larry.
Yeah, thank you.
So the thing about it is, once Jason Jordan got injured, they need to scramble. And so one scramble was, okay, Titus Worldwide, you're going to go against the Bar right now. You're going to have beef with them for a while. Other scramble, okay, Seth Rollins, we're going to make you Rollins is like Raw and everything, like Monday Night is Rollins, which was a brilliant idea. It led to an awesome Elimination Chamber, and last Monday's Night's Raw was awesome. But this match right here was just kind of like, they're not ready. Titus Wright is not ready for this.
What would you have done with the tag team match in this match tonight?
If I could book it?
Yeah.
See, the problem with this is that there's no good tag teams on Raw. Like at this point, maybe you
Hey, there's
let me phrase that. I'm sorry, there's not enough tag teams on Raw.
I agree.
And the thing about it is, though, is that the Revival, like we both talked about, the Revival is amazing. But their gimmick is no flips, just fists. With something like that, they shouldn't be on Raw. They should be on SmackDown feuding with the Usos.
Well, I also think that they're another underutilized tag team. Let them cut promos the way they should on the mics. Is the Good Brothers. I think those guys, the Balor Club.
Oh, the Good Brothers. Yeah.
Those guys can do it.
Yeah.
And I think that those guys, if let them be them who they were in New Japan, I think that you got something there.
And to be honest with you, I would say you should bring the Good Brothers should have had this match.
Yeah, I agree.
A way better match. And then the cool thing about it is, though, even if they lose, and with Finn Balor losing in the Chamber, you can come together and maybe do something, continue with that group feud with like the Bar and the Mr. Raj and everything like that versus the Balor Club, which can be entertaining.
Now let's move on to.
So they wrestled in the kickoff show, and at the end they did a shoot on the Revival.
I don't care about that. And then let's go to our next match. We're pretty much done talking about the Bar versus Titus Worldwide, right?
I completely blank. I didn't hear anything you guys said.
This next match is my match of the night. It's probably your match of the night.
Definitely.
The Asuka, Nia Jax,
Yeah.
Nia Jax. I call her Nia. It's Nia Jax.
Nia.
Nia Jax Asuka match. I thought was great. It was a well told story. The pacing was great. It seemed like, yes, we all knew that Asuka was going to walk away winning this match. However, it's how they got there was the surprising part, right? It was more so about the story that was being told. Not only that, I also like the story at the end where it seems like this is going to continue because Nia Jax beat the shit out of Asuka.
Yeah, she did.
So, all right, talk to me, Johnny. Oh, you didn't see this match?
No, but I read the reviews of it. I saw some clips from it, but you guys start off first. I
fucking love Asuka. I know nothing about her other than the fact of what I can see from her wrestling style, and I just love that she's so versatile, so dynamic, and Nia Jax. Oh my God, did I ever think that a big girl like that could go ahead and move? I haven't seen a big girl in the ring since like the 1980s, the early 1990s.
Like Bull Nakano?
Yes, exactly. Or even Luna Vachon, or even Scary
Luna
Sherry.
Vachon, they're tiny. Luna Vachon was tiny.
No, but I'm saying like thickness. They've been going after these sort of like lingerie
models and stuff like that. Like fitness models.
Yeah, they're just like, and they're tiny. Nothing against them. They're just, tiny, slender women. And that's fine. But it's been a good long while since I've seen anybody that was just able to, have that kind of size and still move the way that she does.
Well, there was the amazing Kong, actually named Karma, back in the WWE run. She was a bigger girl. She was great.
She actually was in the Men's Royal Rumble one time.
Yeah, she was awesome. I wish that she would come back, actually. I'd love to see her meet up with Nia Jax. So let's talk about some of the highlights of this match and the story that was being told in the ring. What really captivated you about this?
No, I just really felt like both of these women wanted to win, and at no point were they sort of like lording it over one another, and there was just no, I don't know, it just didn't feel fake. They really sold it well, and these were two that just had completely different like physicality.
I think it's Asuka will beat the shit out of you, regardless if you're male. Her stuff looks really stiff.
It does, and you hear the chants of the crowd. Like whoever she wrestles, Asuka's gonna kill you. Asuka's gonna kill you. How was that your chant?
I don't think it's a joke. I think luckily Nia Jax is somebody that can probably take it, but Asuka, it seems like she beats the shit.
Oh, she's stiff. Yeah. She's stiff when she's hitting people.
So I'm actually really excited. Eventually, somewhere down the line, I think that in Japan, the Japanese work rate of the wrestlers, they come from that strong style background where it's really stiff, and I'm really excited to see her against the Pirate
Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane.
Oh God, I think I'm waiting for that.
Once you get those two in the ring together, you're gonna see two beautiful ladies beat the shit out of each other.
Because my two favorite, one of the top 10 favorite moments from the female Royal Rumble was Asuka winning and Kairi Sane when she did her walking the plank. My gosh, she just sold that so well.
I love it. She's great. She has a bright future in the WWE.
And this match is really dope too because I agree with you. Even though we knew Asuka was going to win, again, For me, I was like, I'd rather be something a little more stakes, like maybe something a little more entertaining. But I'm happy Nia Jax is getting the experience though, because right now she's still like a little bit green, and her size is really helping her out a lot. But doing more matches with perhaps like Asuka or whatnot is going to make her a superstar in the future.
And it's also getting her over as a monster, which I love. And I think that you're right. The one thing I think WWE is absolutely doing 100% right now is their women's division. Yeah. I think that honestly, the women's division, if you would have had Ronda Rousey and Charlotte, and if Ronda Rousey was ready to go, could have main evented this year's WrestleMania. And I think it's only a matter of time until the WWE has a women's main event WrestleMania. Yeah. And honestly, I'd love to see it be Sasha Banks and Asuka maybe could possibly do it. There's a plethora of people you can put in that slot, but I think that the women do deserve it. I mean, well,
not only that, but you have the variety to pull from, because for so long it was just one kind of
it was that beautiful bombshell like Tori Wilson or Stacey Keibler.
And again, no disrespect to them, but it's like I can't have 5, 10 of you all doing the same thing, all looking more or less the same. I love whenever you can go ahead and get something like this where it's Asuka and Nia Jax who are just so completely different in physicality and technique.
I feel that's WWE's thing though. You have to have this certain look even in the male division. For a long time, it was guys with ponytails that were muscular, jacked up dudes. And
a bunch of Triple H.
I don't need muscular roadies. Just
I mean, look at like you had that with Billy Gunn and Triple H and all these other guys.
X-Pac.
Right?
Most of DX.
So you had this kind of look, and I think it served its purpose. But I think that's over. Now you got guys like Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, all these different body types. And I think that WWE is doing a great job at taking a chance on certain individuals that might not live up to that. Like AJ Styles is a great example of that.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. He's like the world's greatest wrestler. And what's interesting too is because with the women's division, they're willing to take chances on people and like give them the belt and see what happens with it. The men's division, like we talked about tonight when we went to Elimination Chamber, things were predictable. We knew who was going to win that. We knew who was going to face people at WrestleMania and whatnot. But with the women's division, things are a little bit more there.
I love pecs. Move your pecs. I love it, pal. That's my Vince McMahon.
You're tall and big. Give him the belt. Give him the belt now.
That looks great.
I think he just hires people he looks like.
Bounce.
Yeah. Does he not? I mean, just like literally every. I'm just like, you just hate the fact that you're not 6'5". And that you're not like...
He is 6 foot. He's like 6'3".
Vince?
He's like 6'3".
All right, well then he wants to be 7 or however the hell how tall Roman is.
Oh, look at my biceps. I just ate a whole cow today. Cow. That's Vince McMahon.
No.
That's how he talks. That's how he sounds.
No, I know, but I'm just saying no to him, not to your...
You're fired.
So let's move on to the... By the way, Nia Jax and Asuka, amazing match.
Yeah.
Great job.
Match of the night.
Yes.
If that hadn't happened, I just would have been like, well, this was a waste of
time.
time.
My favorite part came next of the night.
Why?
It was the promo video for WrestleMania. No.
I thought you meant the match.
Mainly because that's the highlight of this show. It was a promo video for WrestleMania. It was a commercial, essentially, for Ico Pro. Just kidding. The next match is Matt Hardy against Bray Wyatt. Now, this match didn't live up to my expectation.
You would pick that picture to put up on the screen right now, Junior. Thanks.
Matt, I gotta talk to you. Pal. Oh my God. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna be crazy. Woken Matt Hardy. I love it. Ha ha, pal.
But Vince, it was broken what got me over and me writing my own stuff. Shouldn't I just keep doing that?
You do what I say, pal.
Okay, Vince. This is going to
I love it.
I fucking hate everything about this.
It makes me sad. It just makes me sad. Because I know you're just coming back into it now, but Matt Hardy created this broken...
How could Jeff Hardy let this happen? Is all I'm saying.
No,
Jeff Hardy was not the more talented.
No.
Oh my God. No, but I'm just saying in general, why didn't somebody just be like, dude, this is
here's the thing, though. Because you missed it. Over in TNA was like slumming going downhill. And then Matt Hardy came up with this broken...
Yeah, wait till you see Senor Benjamin.
Exactly.
What?
Yes, like their sidekick Gardner.
And Vanguard 1. They're little probe or whatever.
They're the drone that flies and shoots holograms. This is all real. And then he made crop circles in his front yard. And then he beats his brother up so bad.
And his father-in-law is named Senor Benjamin, and he's a gardener.
And then he beats up.
This is why mom tells me never to do drugs, because this is exactly what it fucking sounds like.
But these are the good drugs that make these and breaks. And here's the thing. Jeff Hardy got on board, and Jeff Hardy became Brother Nero.
That's his middle name, Nero.
Yes, he became Brother Nero. He got on board with Obsolete and Delete.
Ha ha! I love it, pal.
It got so big that TNA named 3 pay-per-views after them. Absolute Deletion and a couple others. It was like over so big. But then they come back to WWE.
We got to curve expectation. You can't say over so big and say TNA in the same breath.
Yeah.
Those two things do not go hand in hand.
All right, I'll give you
It was
that.
popular.
It saved the company. It saved the company for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, when Vince McMahon does this spin on things, broken. No, you're woken. You can imagine. That's the way he is. What's the difference, Vince? You're woken. That's what he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did
I expect to see Matt Hardy go from cyber goth to like Liberace, like goth night at the Abbey? No,
it's a great character. Once he really rips it open, I think it is a great character.
Okay, but this match, all right, regardless of what you may think about the character, this match was so fucking boring. It was so boring.
Well, because it wasn't done. Yeah. See, the only thing that I had a problem with this match is a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's all about the wrestling, the New Japan strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles." This is a match that you needed this sense of mysticism.
Yeah.
You needed the suspension of disbelief. You needed woken Matt Hardy, and you needed Bray Wyatt, and you needed these entities competing against each other. And making it a real thing.
You also needed the story as well. Like, you need the story leading up to this, and you needed the skits. Because what they've been doing up to now is they've been cutting promos.
He would talk to giraffes. He would not, like Matt Hardy would talk to animals and be like, "Oh, this is my friend Napoleon. He's reincarnated."
Mm-hmm. And do all this crazy stuff, but in this thing, they do it in the skits. Kind of like what we talked about earlier. Last year with Randy Orton, like going to Bray Wyatt's house and doing all that kind of stuff. This is some of the things that should be doing with Matt Hardy.
I have a question for you, Tony. You can't get behind woken Matt Hardy. However, somebody like a Doink the Clown, who we're going to assume stumbled in from a circus.
Concept.
Stumbled in from the circus, the Ringling Brothers circus.
It's scary.
The Lion Tamer said, "You know what, Doink? Doink, I got to talk to you. Come on in."
Nobody likes clowns.
What do you got, PT? Come on, sit down. Doink.
You're gonna be a heel.
You're fired.
Nobody fucking likes.
We got nothing for you. We wish you on your future endeavors. Then he gets really depressed and really upset and goes, "You know what? I'm gonna try my hand at wrestling." Well, there's a little fucking thing with squirts in your face, and it's like Doink the Clown is the fucking suspension of disbelief here. Doink the Clown is acceptable, but
I think it'd be
Matt Hardy.
difficult for anybody to walk into the ring sounding like David fucking Koresh, okay? I really do. And I don't think Matt Hardy has the skills to pull it off, okay? I just don't think it's a good character, and certainly Matt Hardy doesn't pull it off for me. If you love Matt Hardy, hey, I'm not going to begrudge you that. You can love whatever you want.
I will say this, you are seeing him at his worst, though. Like, the broken gimmick works when it was in TNA, and he was writing all his own stuff. Okay. But since it's been WWE, and they've gotten their hands on it, I think they've, like...
Would you agree that what I saw tonight is different from what you're describing it?
Oh, yeah. It was terrible. Tonight was terrible. Tonight was terrible. We saw something that shouldn't have existed. It was absolutely terrible.
All right, let's talk about this real quick.
I'm sorry, the hair is terrible.
Do you think well, that's how it was in TNA, though.
It was like
fucking
that.
Terrible.
So do you think that there's something the WWE is taken from somewhere else and made it better here in WWE? Is there anything the WWE's done that's better? Because the NWO, they flopped.
The Bullet Club,
they flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got? What you got for me?
I got nothing. I can't think of anything.
Hey, creative's got nothing for me, Vince.
Okay, one thing, but it's barely WWE. It was more of him doing it himself. But when he came to WWE, he got that much better. Mick Foley. When Mick Foley came to WWE, he created Mankind, Duke Love, all these different things, and he kind of elevated and took him to his next level.
But I think that was already badass, though.
Yeah, but I think that was more of him himself, not WWE doing it. But that's the only thing I can think of when it came to WWE. It just got that much better.
Okay, well, not fans of the Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt match. Do you think the feud's over, Johnny?
Probably not. It's WWE. They can't figure out what they're doing. This is probably going to continue next week.
Tony, you're living in the past too much. You're living too much in the past.
Which is why I'm watching this now, and which is why I'm watching. But however, that doesn't negate the fact that this is terrible.
Whoa. There's a lot that's been terrible in wrestling. Let's be
I gotta be real though, like Doink probably would have had a better match tonight.
Head on.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Triple H fucked a corpse, guys. Katie Vick, Triple H fucked a corpse in the ring. Or not in the ring, but in some home. Do we forget about this?
When was this?
Wait.
Katie
Vick. Anybody remember a Katie Vick when he was feuding with Kane?
I mean, low key though, he kidnapped Stephanie McMahon and drugged her and married her. Like that
It's
was
true.
like the first Me Too campaign right there.
Ever after.
Yeah, see? Like, roofies.
Happily ever
It's
after.
just all you need in order to have
Like, don't forget, back in the 90s, we had a pimp.
You know,
A pimp who came to the ring with his hoes.
I
The
sometimes think about this.
The whole train.
Is that, do you think, and this is a little off topic, but do you think when Vince McMahon sat down, or anybody in the locker room sat down, I think one of the smoking guns, the roadie, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and the 1, 2, 3 kid, they're going to be the biggest thing in the world. Billy Gunn. You really think about that on paper, DX, like they killed it though.
They did.
They crushed it.
They
I
did.
mean, anti-establishment, that always works.
And don't forget though.
Not in the WWE.
Ooh, but don't forget though.
It did DX, but not the Bullet Club or the Balor Club.
But you got to remember though, before those guys came along, Triple H and Shawn Michaels had already got DX over.
Yeah.
They were just riding those coattails at that point. That's like
Can you
like
imagine
Kevin
that-
Durant showing to the Warriors and winning a championship.
Can you imagine one of the rock, like we're gonna take that blonde-haired rocker and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and they're gonna be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. All right, let's move on to the next segment. We have the Ronda Rousey signing.
They went on too
Rowdy
long.
Ronda Rousey. All right, let's talk about this for a quick second. Ronda Rousey makes her official in-ring WWE promo. A non-good WWE promo, but a promo nonetheless. And we understand that she's now here in the WWE. She wants to earn everybody's respect. Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, kiss her ass. And we got Kurt Angle kind of goofing off in the back. Give me your in-depth take on this segment, Tony.
I'm sorry. I think Angle just did not work as like the impetus of this whole feud. I mean, because that's really why it all happened, is because he's in the back making faces and they're like, oh, he's got the flu, guys. That's why this whole feud is going to kick off, because the flu is a thing. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It would just be so much better if you just went ahead and say, you know what? I now own you. I don't fucking like you. I'm going to put you through a table right now.
Johnny, give me your thoughts.
Okay, let's go through some pluses. 1, her jacket fit this time. Well done. That's an improvement. 2, she just wasn't pointing at the sign. Another improvement. Okay, then when she gets into our promo, I appreciate the authentic, genuine nature of it and whatnot, but, it was a little bit shaky. Hopefully she'll get better, though. But that whole Kurt Angle, you know what?
Angle?
Here all week. But like I say, I actually did like that, because honestly, we've seen contract signings before, and like they're usually boring and terrible. Yeah. And for this to have a little spin on it, where it's like, no, in the back they said you're gonna be their bitch, and it was like, oh shit, okay. All right, it actually put like some a little bit more like emphasis on it. And plus, it also acknowledged what happened 3 years ago at WrestleMania about how upset they were there. So I'm like, you know what? There's continuity there. So I appreciate what they try to do, and I'm actually a little bit excited for Ronda Rousey now. Beforehand, with a Royal Rumble debut, I honestly didn't care. Now I'm a little bit invested. And it's low-key kind of badass, too, where they're like, you're going to be our bitch. And then she signs a contract like, I'm nobody's bitch. It was like, oh, but you still signed the contract, though. But, oh, okay, right.
I think
we'll see how this turns out.
For me, there were 2 major highlights of this. Number one, it was just seeing this kind of play out. The Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle thing. I did enjoy it. I thought that it was a good setup, and it was a good callback to stuff that had happened in the past without Ronda Rousey there, and even stuff with Ronda Rousey from previous years, WrestleMania a couple years ago. I thought that was really smart, and it was a really good callback. Also, the other big highlight for me is, I think everybody probably already knows this, but you don't sign a contract unless it has 144 font on there. And I think that seeing that font, so I can clearly read it was Ronda Rousey's contract.
There it is.
I wanted to make sure that it was Ronda Rousey's contract, so I needed to make sure. So, like, whenever you get into a contract, if the font's not about 144, don't sign it. It's not a real contract. That's essentially a verbal agreement.
There it is. There it is. We learned valuable lessons today.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Rousey in this. I just didn't like the setup around her.
You know what they could have made it better, though? Because if they had brought in some of the actual backstage things that happened when like Kurt Angle and the other wrestlers showing up, because when Kurt Angle showed up to WWE, Triple H didn't like him. He actually didn't want him to get a push. He thought he was too small, like all these different things. And then Vince had to go to Triple H. Well, if you think that, you wrestle him. And he was like, okay, never mind then. But if like Kurt had brought some of that stuff in the promo, it was like, I don't want you to go through what I went through. I know what you would do to people. He may put some of that genuine emotion in there, broke the fourth wall a little bit. I think that could have possibly made it better.
That's a good call.
No, it was. I mean, I know we're talking about wrestling, but this was so fucking contrived, guys, and it just didn't play for me at all.
So not looking forward to the match at WrestleMania, or are looking?
Yeah, I am. I mean, let me not,
get this bad taste of Angle out of your mouth?
Yeah, no, and listen, I enjoy Kurt Angle as a wrestler. Just the way that he was, the way that he was playing it as like, oh, hey, remember this, guys? I'm going to snitch you out. Like, who's that little fucking snitch kid from Recess?
Oh, Wendell?
Randall?
Randall.
Randall. He's fucking Randall.
But Randall's
Really?
man, though. He got the free cookies.
I don't know. Kurt Angle deserves better than to be Randall. So.
But you know what the thing?
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Is that like we were talking earlier? You haven't watched wrestling for a while,
Yeah.
so people have been watching for the past like 6 months of Kurt Angle.
Mhm.
It's been worse.
Really?
Like there's this whole angle where apparently Kurt Angle, there you go, where he apparently had an illegitimate son with somebody, and it turns out to be one of the wrestlers on the roster, Jason Jordan. And then now it goes in this thing every week where he goes to him as like, "Dad, I need a shot. Dad, I need a championship match." And Kurt's like, "Okay, son," and it's like, "Fucking really?"
And
So
he's like, what, 10 years older than him?
Well, yeah, 15 exactly. And so the thing about it is though, so for us the bar is probably so low that when we saw this going down, it's like it's an improvement.
Yeah,
but for somebody to see it with fresh eyes,
yeah,
I can see where you're coming from.
No, like, and I agree with
It's
everyone
we're
saying
the-
that. Like, oh, he's
we're-
always been goofy. He's always been saying. I'm like, I agree. I just think that like
We're in that abused Vince McMahon relationship. We'll take anything Vince gives us.
That's pretty much that's
fuck you
true.
guys.
That's
I don't
true.
need,
That's
no,
true.
absolutely not.
We're going to give it to you, and you're going to like it.
I'm gonna leave you and then run for what is it, Congress?
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the main event of the night. Probably the most unpredictable match in WWE history.
Did not see the
I
winner
have no
coming.
idea what
Did
was
not
going to
see the
happen
winner
in this
coming.
one. First of all, I got to
I
really
didn't
talk
think
about
they would
this.
do it.
Seven wrestlers, 7 superstars in the Elimination Chamber. Oh my! As soon as I heard that, I thought, Vince McMahon, you know what, Vinnie Mac? You got my money. You got my fucking money. And then I thought to myself, well, clearly they're going to let Finn Balor win this. This is bullshit. They're going to let Finn Balor win this. And then to my surprise...
The little Amish dude?
Yeah, the little Amish guy. So then to my surprise, you get The Miz in there, who's been pretty good as of late. You got Seth Rollins, Juan Cena.
Monday Night
You got Roman Reigns and the Walk with the Lights. You got Elias and Braun Strowman. I thought to myself, it's a pretty good group of guys.
Yeah.
But you know what? Vince is too predictable. He's going to give us Finn Balor to make the win. And then he surprised us all. Roman Reigns, guys, he's going to WrestleMania.
What? No! How? What? Oh, that's how we all felt right there.
Oh,
That's exactly how we all felt.
Vince McMahon, get your head out of your ass, dude. Are you kidding me right now? This is ridiculous. And here's the thing with Roman Reigns. I personally think if this dude were a heel, he would be so much better off.
Oh, he would be money. He would be so money. It's like after WrestleMania last year when he beat The Undertaker and he came out like it was crazy, Tony. Like he came out to the.
I'm sorry. What he did? What now?
So he beats The Undertaker at WrestleMania last year, and then people are going crazy. They're booing, but he leaves. Undertaker gets his huge ovation off, and then the very next night at Raw, they're just going crazy. They're going Undertaker,
and he's in the ring for like 10 minutes. Everyone's booing,
just booing. Every time he goes up to the mic, they just start booing.
And he just puts the mic up and he goes, "It's my yard now." Throws it down. Immediately, you're like, "This is a great turn for a heel. That's a natural thing."
Exactly.
They don't do that.
No, but then they make it back in
serious?
face again. They try to sell him as a face. And then for the past, I kid you not, for the past 8 months, we've all heard the rumors that it will be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And so going to this match, we're like, don't make it predictable. Don't make that. We don't want it. Nobody wants it. And then that's what happens.
Listen, Roman Reigns is a hard worker. He wrestled. He's a good wrestler. He's good as a wrestler. It's just this babyface character. I think Vince McMahon is living a little bit too much in the past. In Roman Reigns, he sees a mixture of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Completely.
And I think that he's like, it's The Rock and Stone Cold. And like he's freaking out about this. He's this muscle-bound dude that has a great look, and he has that brooding, dark, mysterious personality. Great look. But you know what? Honestly, he's a better version of Kevin Nash. And I think when Kevin Nash was here, we saw Kevin Nash kind of rise up to Diesel. But you know when Kevin Nash got really interesting to me? Is when he lost the WWF title to Bret the Hitman Hart, and he powerbombed him 3 times, right? And he put Bret through, and he had sympathy. And then he's like, you know what? I'm all about people that have the black glove, and now he started feuding with the Undertaker. That was the most interesting Diesel to me.
I agree with you because the problem with it is, I agree. Vince McMahon is seeing Roman Reigns. He sees like this attitude era superstar that he can build up. But what he's forgotten is how do you build up an Attitude Era superstar? Like, if we think about The Rock showed up. He started as Rocky Maivia. It was really awkward, but he joins the Nation of Domination. He becomes this massive heel. People start hating him. And exactly the high top and everything like that. And then what he does, he betrays Nation of Domination and becomes a corporate champion. He becomes this super heel. He beats Mick Foley on the head with like 30 cheer shots and whatnot. But then all of a sudden, Stone Cold leaves. He has to step up, go against Vince McMahon. He becomes a face. But when he becomes a face, does he win? No, he gets his ass beat like on a weekly basis. DX, he like, here's a 2-on-1 match. Here's this type of match. Here's where we're gonna put your job on line match. We want to cheer for The Rock because he was the underdog. But Roman Reigns has gone through none of that. He hasn't been a heel. We haven't seen him lose. We haven't seen him get beat down. We're just seeing somebody who's like being handed these opportunities. So there's nothing to cheer for.
And also the great thing that I love about the WWE sometimes, you get moments in wrestling. And I think in those moments that you get, you get to embrace what the beauty of the art, and wrestling's an art. And you know, people could sit here and say wrestling's fake, but the truth of the matter is this. Guess what? So is the fucking Avengers Infinity War. But you still feel something, don't you? So go fuck yourselves, people that are always going to say about that.
It's like we're right. We watch wrestling not for, we know it's fake, obviously, but we watch it for the storytelling. We watch it to see how these things turn out. We watch it because it's like watching superheroes in a ring. But the problem with this, with the Roman Reigns, you're not telling a good story. That's the problem. There's nothing story to tell. That's the reason why people compare him to like Superman. How you get bored of Superman after a while. There's no thing he's struggling against. He does no real arch enemy. He has no Lex Luthor.
Hold on real quick. Now, I don't usually encourage the cast of this to do this. However, I'm going to because I'm me. We got a guy in here called MCGE Gaming, and he keeps saying he's being a troll right now. Wrestling's fake. MCGE Gaming. First of all, that's the dumbest name I've ever heard. Number two is you got 22 subscribers on your YouTube channel, and the difference between you and us is you're watching us. I'm not watching you. And guess what? Neither is anybody else because you got 22 subscribers and you play shit games that you probably can't afford real ones. So I'm just going to put it out there right now. Thanks for joining us in the chat room.
And that's the bottom line.
Well, I mean, listen.
Yeah,
here's. Let's be real. I mean, you don't have a super chat feature. Matter of fact, I don't even think you can live stream because you got 22 subscribers, my friend. So I just gave you a little shout out. And guys, if you want to go check out Shitty Gaming, you can probably do it somewhere else. This MC whatever guy, he sucks. But there you go. Now let's go back to the show. I'm sorry, but
are you?
Well,
no.
I like doing this stuff.
No.
Listen, hey,
don't lie to the people.
everybody out there, my Illuminati, I'm calling you guys out. Let's put it out there. Nobody holds up our show. And I just gave that guy a little bit of attention, mainly because his parents probably didn't do it enough, so I had to do that for him. But there you go, guys. If you guys want to troll him, you see him in there in the chat, go ahead, add him, talk shit, do your thing. I'm letting you guys got the permission. Go ahead. All right, now let's back to the show. Let's talk about this. We got the main event here. WWE. This is a letdown in many ways.
Yeah.
Now, you hold on. Go ahead. I'm gonna say something real quick. Both you guys had an interesting pick who you wanted to win, and I want to talk about that for a second. But before we'll get into what you want to talk about right now. But remember that because we're gonna go back to that. Go ahead.
Gotcha. I was gonna say there were some highlights from this match though, so we need to give a shout out to that. Like for example, Elias's opening song was hilarious and funny. Like when he was like doing this whole bit about it was like I'm in Vegas and you're used to seeing your family members that you like behind bars and whatnot. I was like, all right, Elias.
Listen, people told me about Elias. They told me that he does this. That it's just him open mic night with a guitar and a spotlight, and I honestly didn't believe it. And to see it happen was magical. So thank you, Elias, for at least that. Thank you so much. Other than that, continue.
Exactly. Also with Elias, I love this whole bit about when Braun Strowman was wrecking everybody and his his like little tube where it's supposed to open. He holds the door. He was like, "Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stay in here. You guys go ahead." I'm just like, that is fucking brilliant. That's amazing. And so I give Elias a lot of credit. Like he really held up his own this match. The Miz, that opening bit right there, where he's like, "Come on, Seth, me and you," and they're like, "No." And then he turns to him and he goes to Finn, like, "Come on, Finn, do it." He throws up the two sweet signs, like, "Come on, do it, do it." I was like, all right, this is funny. This is fun. So I give him a lot of credit there too. So there were some nice little bright spots in this match. I
got to admit, The Miz is such a classic heel. Oh. And this is a great throwback to the days of like guys that you want to like, you almost want to. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? Early Chris Jericho when he was doing the crazy Chris Jericho that was like calling his bodyguard Ralphus. It reminds me so much of that. Like I like that Chris Jericho, and I like this Miz. This Miz has earned my respect.
Oh, heck yeah.
And here's the difference between him and Roman Reigns is that and as many people want to shit on the Miz and say, oh, you know, like I know Daniel Bryan said he's soft, whatever it may be. The truth of the matter is that dude has earned my respect.
Oh, fuck
Roman
yeah.
Reigns, you got a long way to go, my friend.
And like that, the Miz has earned our respect from like day one. I remember like way back in the early 2000s, him being a cat in the real world,
Yes.
and him wrestling his castmates, going, "I'm the Miz,"
The Miz.
and now you see all these years later, like,
Oh,
holy
he's for
shit,
real.
he made this happen. You just have to respect him. He made his dream a reality,
I love
and
that
he
guy.
works at it every single day. Like I remember that was his Talking Smack where Daniel Bryan called him soft. He was like,
Yes.
"I'm not soft. I'm still here. You're not here. I'm not getting injured. I'm here every day. This is my career. This is what I care about." I was like,
I love
"Holy
it.
shit, this is real."
You know what? Sometimes in wrestling, this is what I'm talking about. Those moments, you get those breakout moments that make you like kind of proud to be a wrestling fan. 'Cause you don't see those very often, but when you do, you know you see them. You had the CM Punk pipe bomb.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Miz do this on Talking Smack. You've had the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Austin 316. Like I just whipped your ass. You get the Rock just being the Rock.
Oh.
You know, you get all these moments in wrestling. Chris Jericho's on that list that are just amazing. You know what? And I was gonna make a point that before I went into this guy, he's probably left the chat now with his tail between his legs and a dick in his mouth. But here you got these moments in wrestling where the reason why Roman Reigns isn't quite working out is because it's not earned.
Yeah.
And somebody that did earn it, where you almost there's not many times where I've seen people win championships and I get like teared up, but Mick Foley was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
It's a guy. That's the Rocky story. He's the ultimate underdog that wins a championship, and you
From
fight so
backyard
hard.
wrestling to
Right.
main eventing WrestleMania.
And you fight so hard for that. And then you get there, and it's like, regardless if it's wrestling's predetermined or not, he earned that right to call himself
He
champion
worked.
for that
He
time.
Exactly. And the thing about this too is that when you see your favorite wrestler not win over and over again, you become engaged with them. Like I remember Chris Jericho has an amazing story. He was in his church and he told people like, "Well, I'm leaving and I'm going to go become a professional wrestler," and people started laughing. And now he looks back on that now. That was his motivation to keep going, keep trying. And then when he got to WWE, they didn't believe him at first. They just slapped that belt on him. It took years before he got that world championship. But when he got it, he earned it, and we respected him for it. But with Roman, again, I give all respect to Roman. Roman works hard. He works his craft. His in-ring ability has gotten better every day. He's working his promos. They've gotten better. But the problem is, though, Roman, it's not you. It's the people writing your story,
Yeah.
the way they're booking you right now. It has nothing to do with you. If they would,
I
book
agree
you
with that, 100%.
as an underdog, if they would book you in these impossible win situations, it would be a lot better.
You know
We
what-
need to see you get beat down. We need to see you get jumped by 3 guys, so we feel sorry for you. But they're not letting that happen.
You know what it is? He's the fucking Jai Courtney of the WWE. Like they keep on fucking booking him as like this like leading man, and it's like, nah, go ahead and make him a little bit goofy and put his ass in
I
Suicide
can't remember
Squad.
anything else that Jack Courtney's been in.
Like that fucking whack ass Die Hard movie. Like he's
I
been
don't
in
think I
like
saw it.
Oh,
good,
or like,
it's terrible.
what's the name of the dude who was in what you call it?
Wasn't he Captain Boomerang?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
she's talking
but
about
he's
like.
good in that because it's like, all right, you're not trying to make him the pretty boy, but like literally all these, and the reason why you can't remember them is that he had about 3 or 4 of them, like
Yeah.
back to back to back, and nobody fucking
No,
cared.
I agree with you. It was like the Lone Ranger, Arnie Hammer. For
Yes,
so long, they tried to
exactly.
force
Yeah, I
Arnie
agree
Hammer
with
down the throat. You're gonna love Arnie Hammer. You're gonna do. I was like,
It's
I don't fucking like
no,
Arnie
dude,
Hammer.
just do something interesting, even if it's not.
The people that what up, Edward? How you doing, buddy?
No, yeah, like you just can't keep trying. If he's not working as a leading man,
Exactly.
or as a babyface, like you got to go ahead and do something different, do something interesting. And if your option is heel, then like try it out.
And see, I understand why they don't make John Cena heel because they've explained this before. Like, do I want John Cena to go heel? Definitely. But they explained it before. He has some of the most Make-A-Wish Foundation requests
Yes.
ever. Kids love John Cena. And so anybody
I told you, my 11-year-old brother fucking cried his eyes out when he lost to The Rock the second time.
I'll be 100% honest with you, and as many people in this chat that might not like John Cena, that's fine. But one thing about John Cena, that dude has earned my respect.
Oh, yeah.
And regardless of what anybody ever says about Big Match John, is that dude has earned his way to being who he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And and yes, he may have held people down in the past. Triple H did the same thing. Shawn Michaels did the same thing. Bret Hart was not the easiest guy to work with. It happens in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nature of that business. However, that dude constantly can deliver a good match when it comes time to it. AJ Styles and John Cena had matches of the year a couple years ago.
And let's be honest too about John. Like he said it himself, like last year, he's getting ready to go to WrestleMania. The Miz, he called out the Miz. He's like, "Look, Miz, if I had control and had my own pool in the back, I'd be wrestling the Undertaker this year." But he doesn't have that pool like the bookers do. John Cena's a guy who shows up to work and does what we have to do. Triple H, on the other hand, he kind of married the company or the chairman's daughter.
I mean,
so he does have a little bit more pull than other people.
I will say,
make the argument that he held some people down. John Cena, it's a little bit harder to do.
I mean, I think John Cena definitely held people. Or maybe held down's the wrong word. I think John Cena definitely...
He was held over.
Well, no, I think more so John Cena had the power to control people's destinies unknowingly, and he may have used that power to do so without really knowing the consequences of what he was actually doing.
To piggyback off that, I would maybe say he had opportunities to speak up but didn't. Kind of like Stan Lee. Stan Lee could have spoken up a lot of times.
About Jack Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby, the artist or the
yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
He could have spoke up, but he didn't. And so he might be in that position where he was like, if I speak up, I lose my job. So, yeah.
I mean, in Triple H, honestly, like, we all praise him for NXT and what he's doing in WWE now. However, you know, if you would have told me this story about 10, 15 years ago about Triple H, if you would have said to me about 20 years ago and said, this guy in DX, this guy that's an asshole in DX, he's going to be the best thing that's going to happen in wrestling in 20 years. I'd have said, this guy's an idiot that's holding guys down like RVD and like Booker T.
And Chris Jericho.
Fuck this.
And tried to hurt down Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit.
But I honestly think sometimes you have to understand that side of the business in order... And I'm not a wrestler, so mind you, I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about. However, as an observant fan, I can say that it's possible that maybe he had to go through these trials and tribulations and holding people back and being stepped on himself to understand what encompasses this business fully. And I think that when you get insight like that, I think it opens your mind up to different things. And realistically, like pulling the curtain back in hashtag show a little bit, like we all work together, but like I feel like certain times I've been accused of doing the same thing as Triple H, but it's not necessarily you're doing it for you. You're doing it for the best, for the betterment of everybody else. And so I could understand now more so from his perspective. Even Big Match John, no matter how much people want to shit on Big Match John, the dude does have pretty good matches.
No, for sure. His match with AJ Styles last year could have been a 5-star match, could have been match of the year. It was amazing.
So
the dude puts in the work.
Now we're going to play a fun little game. You guys ready for this? This is the impromptu game.
Okay.
It's called You Book It. Now, tonight, this pay-per-view, you know what the matches were, you know what the lineup was. Tony, you book a segment. Johnny, you're also going to book a segment, and so am I. We're going to change up something in this pay-per-view. And in the chat, I'm going to put this challenge out there to you guys as well. You book it. You book one thing tonight that WWE didn't do, and we're going to see who booked it better. We're not going to see who booked it better. We're going to just see some different ideas that WWE could have possibly done. Maybe they weren't looking at it. Who wants to go first on You Book It? Johnny, take a crack. Okay. You actually had a great one already, but if you want to go back to that one, we can use that one.
Okay, so two. So one, I would have had Kurt Angle bring up his past within that whole feud right there. He would have talked about how Triple H held him down back in the day. Could have talked about how he held down RVD and all these other people under their thumb. He'd be like, you know what? I want you to be with wrestling. I want you to be here, but you should not be with these people. They're going to like abuse you or whatnot. That would have made that segment a little bit more real. Second thing I would have done, I would have put the belt on Sasha Banks. Yeah. Her going heel tonight should have ended with her getting the belt. So that way at WrestleMania, we have her versus Asuka. Leading up to that, we can have Bayley interfere, get involved a little bit, have some storytelling there. And then after WrestleMania, we know where we're going to go. Like we even have
smart.
Because Bayley's shoulder's been messed up for a while now. We can have it tomorrow night on Raw to signify her big heel change. She injures Bayley, and we take Bayley off TV for a little bit.
The only bad thing is Bayley misses the payday for WrestleMania.
That is true, though. But at the same time, though, I think about longevity of wrestlers. If her shoulder injury is for real, let it heal, because we want you around for a long while. Because, like Tony said, she's amazing. Little girls love her.
She's the female. I think she can be the female John Cena. Personally.
Exactly. Yeah. We need her around. So that's what I would have changed right there.
All right, you book it.
Well, obviously changing what I said about the Rousey signing, I definitely would have loved it if we would have landed a pedigree on her. Absolutely.
Wait, you can't have Triple H do it though.
Yes, I can.
I think.
Why not?
I personally think that right now in the climate we have, we cannot have dudes abusing.
Yes,
women.
we can, especially if she's for real about earning.
WWE is trying to clean up their profile.
About trying. I mean, because like obviously they have no problem with her getting in his face. So obviously,
but it's different. It's different for a woman slapping a man than a man.
Okay, yes, but I'm saying that like it's already predestined that that's where it's going to go. She's not going to be afraid to step into the ring.
A mixed tag match, so the rules are going to be the women.
Yes, but she's not always going to be up against Stephanie. Yes, she will.
She will. That's the rules of the match.
No. And if it is, that's bullshit.
Well, yeah, they did make that.
Because she's good enough to go ahead and go up against.
Sure,
Saying
but
they
that's
did
the
change
rules
that
of the
rule.
match.
It's like back when we used to watch it.
Mhm.
Like remember us seeing Lita take the 3D
Sure.
and all that stuff. They don't do that anymore.
It's
Men
you
cannot put
fucking
their
Men
men cannot put their hands on the
anymore.
women. But to get your back though, this is what you could do though. You could still let her get beat down. But recently Paige got injured, right?
Mhm.
Paige can only wrestle. Absolution is just standing around. So Stephanie calls out Absolution to jump Ronda Rousey and then put her through the table. And then they can be the
Okay.
henchwoman for them. They can put their hands on them, but they can't do themselves.
So my
Okay.
my booking decision would have been a little different. I'm not going to go
Well,
the
I
Rousey
didn't
side.
say-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, yes, no, and the chamber, yeah. So the men's chamber elimination, I would have had Miz win.
Really?
Yeah, I would have had the last three be Braun, Cena, and Miz. I would have loved to have seen that happen. And I don't know who I would have preferred to see the last two actually be, but yeah, I love the Miz. And every time that I've ever kind of like come back into, wrestling either for like an episode or two, it's always consistent. Half
Craig
that
Anderson.
crowd loves the Miz, half the crowd fucking hates him, but they're still like, shit, he's still here. Fucking
Yeah.
respect
Craig
him.
Anderson, great comment. Triple H performing a pedigree on Ronda. Laughed my ass off. Is it 2018 or 19? Or
It should be, because that would have been
1998.
amazing. Well, because it's not like fucking Stephanie McMahon has the juice to go ahead and pedigree her.
So my booking change would have been in the men's elimination chamber match. I would have had it. There was a couple things I would have done in that match that would have set up things. What I would have done for Braun Strowman to make him look strong. I would have had all 7 guys. Nobody get eliminated until Braun Strowman gets in. You get everybody in eventually. They all hit their finishers on him, which almost happened. And then you get them to dogpile pin him eventually and get him out. So that way, Braun Strowman's out of there. And I would have somebody, I don't know, whoever the mastermind was that, let it be the Miz, the mastermind of that, they would meet up at WrestleMania. The Miz and Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. The other thing I would have done is have the match come down to Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Or no, I'm sorry. I would have it either be Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Or I'd have it be Finn Balor and Roman Reigns. And the reason I would have done that is if you go with Roman or Seth Rollins winning, I would have had the Balor Club come out and jump him.
Yeah.
If you go with Roman Reigns and Finn Balor, what I would have actually done is I would have ensured that Finn Balor was going to WrestleMania, have the Balor Club come in, attack Roman, and Finn Balor gets the win. But this way, he goes against Brock. But if Brock's like, well, you're a little guy, you're a small guy. Now he's like, well, I got these 2 guys with me. And it would have been the Balor Club taking on Brock Lesnar. And Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That would have been my match. But we're not getting that. Thanks, Vince. All right, now, before we wrap up, I do have one last question for you guys. Another fun wrestling question.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's already
Oh,
made.
sorry, Junior.
We know that wrestlers.
Sorry.
We know that wrestlers nowadays. They travel in caravans with other wrestlers. Say you got a minivan. Who are the 5 wrestlers you want to travel with?
That are working now?
Past, present, or future? I guess past or present. Future.
Future.
Good night, Larry.
5? Okay. Big Show?
Why Big Show?
Because he's a fun dude.
You know, is he?
Yes, he is. He's sweet. He's fun. I actually want him to teach me how to play basketball because that's a thing.
You can have anybody teach you how to play basketball.
No, not him. He went to school on a basketball scholarship.
Okay.
Yeah. So Big Show. Stone Cold.
In fairness, if I was 7 foot tall and you didn't get a basketball scholarship, there's something wrong.
He wasn't 7 feet tall when he got the basketball scholarship. He started growing after he was already in school.
No, that's not
Yeah,
true.
well, no, it was like his junior, senior year is when he fucking shot up.
Yeah.
Look that shit up. Oh no. Stone Cold, because of course. Bret Hart, because it's probably going to be the only way that I actually get to spend any extended time with him. Who else? Ted DiBiase.
Really?
He's got to have the best stories. Yes! He's got to have the best fucking stories. I'm
So-
like, tell me all the terrible shit you used to be able to
Ted
get away with. Just like
DiBiase,
throwing money at people.
Steve Austin,
Like, is that not a Slytherin wrestler? Just
Bret
like,
Hart, The Big Show, and you got one more?
I got one more. Oh shit. Who do I
Virgil.
pick? Huh?
Virgil.
You can't fit in the van.
It's a big van, right?
Well,
Okay.
it's a minivan. Now it just has to be a van, maybe a truck.
Shit. Who would I pick? Peter Maivia.
Who the fuck is Peter? Wait,
High Chief Peter
his
Maivia?
grandfather,
Yes.
the Rock's grandfather.
Yes.
Wait, as High
Yes.
Chief Peter Maivia or as veteran old man Peter Maivia?
No, as High Chief in his prime,
Okay.
Peter Maivia. I
Alright.
want someone from
Of yesteryear. Okay,
Yeah.
now before we get into yours, we
I
gotta
want
address,
story time, basically.
address some comments. I would have turned Sasha Banks heel by beating Bailey after Bailey pinned Alexa, then have Seth be the Iron Man and win by beating Cena. That's interesting.
that.
The reason I think that Seth was important to this match is that the build-up for the Elimination Chamber was actually better than the Elimination Chamber.
It was.
That gauntlet match that they had last Monday night was one of the best draws I've seen in a very long time.
It was amazing.
It had me cheering. I was like, wow, they're actually going to go like a full hour with this match, and Seth Rollins is fucking doing it. It was amazing. I will say, got to give credit where credit's due. You did a great job.
And we got your props for tonight too, because tonight after like Seth got eliminated and was like leaving the ring, people still chanting, "Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Seth." He's earned.
He's over now. He's over.
He's over in a big way.
Craig Anderson says the last two in the chamber, I would have been Finn and Seth. Roman would have attacked Seth, cost him the match, setting up a match between them at WrestleMania. That's another good one. I actually like that as well. All right, let's go to your caravan.
Okay, so
Caravan.
all right, so 5 wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All you guys with your fanny packs on, maybe your Zumba pants.
Okay, so first off, Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, because the stuff he's doing over in Japan right now is brilliant. The fact that the Golden Lovers have gotten back together, which is like an 8-year line storyline going from like his beginning of his career, is brilliant. And the way he's doing things with Bullet Club right now, definitely want to talk to him, hear the stories he has to tell, talk about his perspective on wrestling right now, with the future, where he thinks things are going to go. 2, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is without a doubt one of the greatest wrestling personalities of all time, in my opinion, because he keeps reinventing himself and he's so successful with it. So I would love to hear his story about wrestling, his philosophy on it, how he approaches things along those lines. 3rd, Lita.
Okay.
I want to talk to Lita about like her biggest regrets, because with the women's revolution, everything that's going on right now.
I thought you were going to meet Matt Hardy.
Maybe that too. But hear her perspective on things, because she never was a prototype diva. Even Trish Stratus, as amazing as Trish Stratus is, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all times, she just started as a good diva. She was like the bra and panty matches, Vince's girlfriend.
Night Larry.
Was never that. Night Larry.
Bye.
4, The Rock. Because to hear his story and where he's gone from is like every wrestler's dream. Just to hear where he had cast planned for it and whatnot. And then number 5, the greatest wrestler in the world, AJ Styles.
But AJ seems so boring.
AJ's cool though, because here's the thing, do you know what AJ does? Like, people talk about it, he has a video game suitcase.
I don't play video games though.
Well, here's the thing, look, I'm just saying, he's just so cool and so chill and laid back, and wrestlers always talk about like how nice of a guy he is. And personally, I kind of want to see him and The Rock interact, because I think he needs to go to that Rock level next. If he gets the charismatic stuff.
I just don't think he has the mic skills to ever do that. I think my caravan is definitely number 1 is Trish Stratus.
Really?
Stratus, yeah.
Are you just going to hit on her the whole time?
Yeah, well,
She's got kids, Joe.
Listen, Prime Trish Stratus didn't have anything. I think that she's amazing, an amazing person. Amazing
She is Canadian.
She is Canadian as well.
Are you
Number
going to
2.
pick nothing but Canadian wrestlers?
No.
Okay.
Number 2, I think I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss.
Ooh.
Alexa Bliss seems like she would be fun and spunky. You know, somebody you can hang out with, somebody you can probably tell your problems to, and you can probably get a lot of good stories out of Alexa Bliss. I think number 3, I'm going to go with Liv Morgan from SmackDown. Liv Morgan is on the Riot Squad.
Yeah.
They're going to go with her.
Why?
She just seems really fun.
Is it the pigtails?
Number 4, I'm going with Mandy Rose. I think Mandy Rose also is a lot of fun. And number 5, I think...
Who are you?
Is this a caravan or a harem?
Yeah, seriously.
This is a caravan or a harem. And where is this going? Where is your caravan going to?
Caravan. This is not Bang Bus, all right?
Exactly. It's like we'll get to the venue when we got to. We're going to this hotel first, ladies.
Number 5, we got to make towns, guys. Number 5, I think... let me rack my brain on this one. I definitely 100% think we got to go with somebody that's iconic. You know, somebody, if we're talking somebody that's iconic, somebody that is beautiful.
Cannot wait to hear this.
Oh my God.
I think we got to go with Tori Wilson.
Oh, jeez.
I think, right? And I think that would be my realistically though.
I really want to know how Joe's going to get. Is he going to ask for gas money or not?
No, I'm hoping the
I
Godfather.
hope you got gas money because you got to pay somehow.
With the Godfather, yeah, right.
By the way, I don't have change.
Like I'll rent the car the whole time, but we're gonna have to. No, realistically, I think that I would go with Scott Hall.
Why?
Because Scott Hall because if you've heard the stories about Scott Hall, he's the guy that's in the van. He's like, man, I don't want to talk about the business tonight. He's like, well, there's this one, and it'll go on, and he's such a wrestling mind. When he's sober, he's such a wrestling mind, but he does have that wild side to him. But I would definitely have Scott Hall. Number 2, Ric Flair. The reason I would choose Rick is because that guy, A, you're gonna leave with somebody that night. B, that dude is the life of the party, and C, his wrestling stories, just about his life and the stories he can tell. If you guys saw that 30 for 30 on Ric Flair, that dude has stories behind him. And I think that you would probably learn so much more driving down the roads with Ric Flair in the wrestling business than you would one night wrestling a match with anybody else. Mm-hmm. So Ric Flair would be my second guy. I think my third guy is definitely Chris Jericho. And the reason I choose Chris Jericho is mainly because another great mind for wrestling, and another guy that's traveled around the world doing this, whether it be Japan, whether it be Canada, whether it be Mexico. He has this worldly view of wrestling, and I think that's beautiful, really, in a sense. Think of it as like being a painter, going to every single country and painting different paintings in different landscapes. I think that's pretty cool. Number 4, I think you got to go with somebody like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. And with somebody like Steve Austin, I feel like he's that guy that's going to call you on your bullshit, but he's down to have a good time and have fun. But he's so intense, especially during the era of his prime, that he's about the business.
Yeah, would you want Stone Cold in his prime?
Yeah, I want Stone Cold. I want Stone Cold in his prime because I think that there's so much there that you can learn from somebody like Stone Cold, but he's a guarded dude in his prime. And I think that can be a little bit of a downfall.
Yeah, now he's more open, more relaxed about it.
Yeah.
He's got a podcast now. So.
Yeah. and I think my last one, this is a tough one, but a guy that just seems like a fun guy that no matter if there's an argument in the car can cut the tension is going to be Mick Foley.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I think you got to go Mick because if anybody does start arguing and you're in the vehicle together, I think Mick's going to be the guy that's just going to be, and he'll call it like it is.
Yeah.
Like he's not afraid to call people out. I think Mick would kind of be that guy that's just like the fun-loving dude that you just love traveling with.
Not for sure.
And he's cheap as shit, though.
True. Right. Can I ask a question for a game?
Yeah.
Okay. Thinking back overall wrestling. Because wrestlers get injured, they pass away, like, you know, their career's getting too short. Who's one wrestler who you like to see have one last match?
That's an easy one for me. One last match. Any wrestler. Can I pick the venue?
Sure.
CM Punk, WrestleMania, main event. He deserves it.
Yeah, do him justice.
Owen Hart.
Oh,
that's a good. That's a good call mainly because he passed away when he was the Blue Blazer.
Yes.
Not Owen Hart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity, WWE.
Yeah.
When Brett left, Owen should have been in the main event, wrestling for the championship and winning the championship from Shawn Michaels. That would have been that vengeance that. And honestly, Owen could have been almost another Stone Cold of fucking saying fuck the system.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because his brother
He was already there, and it was
so much
compelling.
So much potential that Owen, and he was great. Honestly, I love Bret Hart, but Owen was, I think, better in the ring than Bret.
I don't know about that. I just think he was different.
There's things that Owen could do in that ring that Bret couldn't. Like Bret may have been a better storyteller, but I think Owen overall was a better seller, and he was a better. And also, it seemed like everybody liked Owen more than Bret. If you ever hear their stories, everyone's telling about how Owen ripped people and how he was a jokester, where Bret was so serious.
Well, you know what it is? It's the Leo Raph.
Absolutely.
It's like Bret is Leo, and he knows he's good, and he deserves to have his recognition, and he deserves to have.
Well, I think in that case, it's more Leo Michelangelo.
No, because Owen is like Raph, where he's just like, I'm constantly in the shadow. Like I am just as good, and in some cases better.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting shit on because I'm not, the perfect brother. And it's like, and that's exactly how they painted Bret. And Owen was like you said, there are some respects where I'm like, yeah, he is good, but there was always this, I don't want to say desperation, but it was just like he just like wanted to prove himself more, whereas Bret was just like, I am this good and I'm about to show you.
Yeah.
There was just a confidence
it's a great
in
question.
Bret that Owen I guess just didn't have or didn't convey.
What about you?
I have two, if that's loud.
Yeah. Well, you made up the game.
Yeah,
so.
you can do whatever the hell you want.
The first one, just to give him respect, because I feel that
Classy Freddie Blassie.
No. Was it Magnificent Moolah? No. Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Because it just kind of ended so soon for him.
I don't think it's over, so I think you'll get it.
I hope so, but like, because right now I just kind of felt like it just ended so soon, and the way he went out. And I remember that speech he made was like so sad on his last night with the yes chance, him talking about like how much he loves the business. I would love to see that man get one last match on his terms. And the second one, again, because her death was just kind of sad. Her life spun out of control, and I feel like she's the most person to miss out on this women's revolution. China. I think she would most benefit from this women's resolution. Having beefs with Nia Jax, having these amazing matches that she can never have. Because even though she wrestled the guys, and she is the ninth one in the world, she was amazing. I feel wrestling the women, she could have had like so much more fun and been like an awesome force for it. I think she would enjoy this.
Honestly, she's why I'm horrified at the thought that women aren't wrestling men anymore. Because I'm like, what if we get another China? Granted, there was only one China, and there's very few that ever come close to her. But it's like, are you telling me now that that's the WWE now? There's never going to be an opportunity for a female wrestler who is able to go ahead and stand up against the men who actually.
I think that's a tricky situation.
I get it. But that's why, honestly, it's her impact that I'm just like, but wait, there are female wrestlers out there that can stand up against male wrestlers.
But you know what's interesting right now is because I think people are thinking the exact same things. People that now the women's wrestling is getting so big, and now it's more about personalities and storytelling. People are starting to consider that, and the one person who's leveled the key by the Prophet over first is James Ellsworth. He just debuted the intergender championship.
It's a pink and blue.
It's in the pink and blue belt, and so I think he's gonna start touring with that. If that gets big enough, who knows?
Okay.
That's another guy that made a lot out of nothing.
Yeah.
James Ellsworth. I mean, there's certain guys that WWE I feel deserve to be over, and some of them just aren't. Another one of those guys that never really broke that next level was Zack Ryder. And Zack Ryder had that opportunity. I felt like WWE was holding him down because he did everything. The fans went crazy for Zack Ryder.
And the crazy thing is, he did it on his own. He built it because he got a YouTube channel, so he created his own internet championship, and he did social media before other wrestlers thought to, and he built this huge fan base up, and people loved him for it. And then at one point, the man got cancer, and he fought and beat cancer. And then he came back, won the internet championship at WrestleMania, but the very next night, they took the belt from him.
The Miz, your boy.
Sadly, yeah.
All right.
That was a booking decision.
So, I really like the way this episode went. Is there any other fun wrestling questions we can do before we close out? That was a good one, though.
I mean,
fantasy matchup?
Like 1-to-1?
1-on-1. Or it could be a tag team thing. It could be anything. Fantasy matchup? Like, what's a fantasy matchup that you really think that you've always wanted to see, never really got?
Did Brock and The Rock ever?
Yeah. That's
where
The
Rock put him over.
Yeah.
Really?
When Brock showed up, they wrestled at SummerSlam for the championship.
I missed out on this.
And The Rock, again, that's really the reason why Rock's so amazing.
Well, then I already got my fantasy match.
Over.
I just need to watch it then, I guess.
It's a good match.
Yeah.
You got one?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, one that comes to mind, like, first, we're a tag team match, for example. I would love to see the Hardys versus the Usos. To see like all that flippy shit going on in the ring and everything.
You're really high on the Usos right now.
The Usos are like, here's the thing, they are selling me. Like this, like when I first saw that Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary, I'm like, why would people want to go to jail? I'm black. I definitely don't want to go to jail. But now they kind of got me on board. Like, all right, I might do 2 months. Uso Penitentiary. But and then the second one, like, I mean, just thinking about like fantasy booking, everything like that. Stone Cold versus Goldberg would have been awesome to see.
Yeah. All right. So mine actually happened once on a Monday Nitro, but at their primes. After WrestleMania 9, going into SummerSlam 93, I believe, should have been Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan. And that should have been the passing of the torch to Bret Hart. Yeah. And I think Hulk Hogan should have put him over clean, showing like, hey, this is the new generation.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a proper Hulk Hogan should have learned like this is the new generation now. This is what we're dealing with. And I think that would have been.
He was not that gracious.
He was not that gracious. And I think that with him doing that. Could have opened up a whole new level and respect level for myself with Hulk Hogan. Now I do respect the guy, but his racist comments.
Yeah, and the problem with this is, I think that had an influence on the business because guys saw what Hulk Hogan did, and it was like, that's what you do. You don't put guys over. You need to protect yourself. But then I think guys like The Rock have come along, show there's a different path you can take. And karma kind of like showed up was because Hulk Hogan's like outside wrestling career has never really taken off, whereas The Rock is the #1 star in the world, arguably.
Yep,
he's franchise Viagra.
That's true. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Again, WWE Elimination Chamber. If you want to see it, You probably shouldn't just watch our show. It's shorter and it's probably better.
Definitely better.
But that's going to do it for us. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me everywhere at the Tony Sanchez, Tony with an I, Sanchez with a Z. And I think I'm going to be on next week's After Dark. So that'll probably be the next time you guys see me here.
Yep.
You can find me online at JohnnyP313. That's on Twitter and Instagram. I also write comic books, so you can check out some of my books there by going to my website, DitoComics.com.
And what conventions can people catch you at next?
You can catch me at WonderCon.
Yeah.
I'll be there, so it's going to be a blast. I'll be at Small Press at Comic-Con this summer, so come on by. I love talking wrestling. I love talking everything.
And you can find me at that hashtag Joe on all social media and check me out at screenrant.com. That's going to do it for us here at Call It in the Ring. Vince McMahon, do fucking better. We're going to be back on Tuesday. Kevin will hopefully be back. Me and Kevin haven't had I was going to say a match. I was literally going to say a match.
You're
right
not
now.
wrong.
Me and Kevin haven't had a show in a while together. But we'll be back, and one of these two lovely people will probably be on the show with us. Hopefully, even both of them. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.
We love that rasp.
Wakanda forever.